This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
This job would be great if it wasn't for the fucking customers.
We're always the stupid idiots who take lessons. Just calm down.
Oh, fuck you!
You can't handle the truth.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
In other words, be nice, asshole.
All right, well, welcome to another episode of Qasincucumber, the podcast where we point and laugh at stupid companies, customers, and coworkers alike. I'm Lara Mack.
And I'm Tanya Edwards.
Okay, so August, we're recording this at the end of July. August is just going to be a crazy month for us, like personally. I got TJ's birthday, school starts, we've got the baby shower, obviously. So we're just going to record a couple episodes today, and I'll put them out over the next few weeks. So if you send us an email in the next few weeks, I promise we're not ignoring you. Just be patient when we finally get back together. But you know what we'll also miss not recording? We're going to miss the birth of the baby.
Oh my God.
Of the whatever Elizabeth Holmes has got going on.
Of the Nerf ball that she's given birth to. Or whatever the fuck she's got in there. I mean.
There are no Elizabeth Holmes updates as of today. I keep looking.
My God.
So, but I'm sure as soon as I put this episode out,
Yeah.
she's going to have the baby.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, it'll probably come out with a fucking horn. Did she use a little machine
I
to
know, right?
find out if she was pregnant or find out if she had
Watch,
gestational diabetes?
Turns out she's not actually pregnant because she used Theranos.
Right. Yeah, she's just fat now. Stupid bitch.
Be like, lady, you're not pregnant. Why did you think you were?
Well, because my magic machine said.
My magic machine.
Right.
That you could just put blood in and it
Right, yeah.
spits out everything that's wrong with you while you're shopping in Walgreens.
Yeah.
This magical bullshit.
Stupid ass.
Oh my God. So, couple things real quick, and then we'll get into you guys' emails. I've got a bunch here. Kevin messaged us, and he was like, "Hey, lady, sorry I've been MIA." I was like, "It's okay."
Oh.
That was very sweet. But we did get a new subscriber on YouTube that his name jumped out at me when I saw, like, you have a new subscriber. And I thought this is funny. I just want to call it out. His name is Tji Fridays.
Shut up. So Laura doesn't tell me this shit until I get here.
No.
And then, like 99% of the time, she doesn't tell me shit. And then I think it's because she wants to get my genuine reaction in person because, you know, oh yeah. Wait, what was his name again?
Tji Fridays.
Jesus Christ.
So thank you for subscribing. I thought that was really funny.
I thought
don't
my
call
fake
out,
name was ridiculous.
I usually don't call out just some specific subscribers when they haven't left comments and stuff.
Yeah.
But that one just jumped out at me.
Because I know I use Anastasia Beaverhausen.
Right.
But yeah, you know.
Which was Karen's name on
yeah.
Will and Grace,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta love Anastasia Beaverhausen. All right. So here are some lovely emails. So this is from Kansas.
Oh.
And this gentleman says, I'm a security guard in my office with the door closed. As is standard for this sort of job, there are windows all around, so anyone can see in and I can see out. I've just had a new employee show up, and she's currently waiting in the hallway outside of my office for her supervisor to show up and show her around. We are both wearing masks, as is required here due to our ongoing health crisis. Obviously, makes sense. Well, I end up sneezing, and I sneeze loud. I do cover it in my arm and all that, and I go to clean up with the sanitizer out of habit. The next thing I know, the new employee has burst through the door into my office and started shrieking at me about how I'm going to give her the, quote, the Rona. You gonna give me the Rona.
God. You're so fucking stupid.
You can sneeze.
Did he sneeze in your mouth?
Yeah, good question. Number one. And number two, are you telling me that in this past year, if you haven't had coronavirus, you've not sneezed?
Not once. Not some dust, not an allergy, not pepper, nothing.
No, it's immediate.
Yeah, you
have the Rona.
Right. As much as I fucking sneeze sometimes, Jesus Christ.
God help her if she's around TJ. My little one's got some allergies.
Right, and Avery
George,
too. Yeah, and Avery too. I mean, Avery can't go a whole day without
right.
Because he has horrible allergies.
Right. So she starts screaming that I'm going to give her the Rona. I'm pretty dumbfounded by this and just sit there and stare at her while she's basically throwing a tantrum, yelling things like, how dare I put her at risk? And then in parentheses, and he says, by sneezing in a closed room, well away from her, whilst wearing a mask.
Whilst.
He literally typed whilst. And how she's going to get me fired for endangering people. Karma happens then, and as her supervisor finally shows up shortly after and apparently watches for a bit. Once she's had enough, the supervisor approaches. She says, excuse me, are you such and such employee? And the employee says, yes. And today's your first day? Uh-huh. Supervisor says, wrong. I'm going to file the termination paperwork in a little bit. Right now, I'm seeing that you're off the property immediately. And just like that, she was marched off the grounds. I'm glad that we didn't have to deal with that particular bit of crazy for long. I can't imagine how bad things would have been if she had exploded like that on somebody on the factory floor. When you first start a job, number one, just her reaction, whether that person was going to be her boss's boss or not.
Right.
That's a stupid way to react. Okay? Let's get that out of the way. But number two, you just started. Do you know who you're talking to?
Right.
Like, I'm not saying that in the do you know who I am? But if you're going to start yelling at people and it's your first day, do you know who is that? Could that person be your boss?
So
could they be the site director? You don't fucking know.
So when I first started at the call center for the credit cards and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
There were always CEOs and stuff like that coming in because we were a newer site.
Right.
So remember the CEO who got his shoe shit on when we were at the Christmas party?
Oh, God.
Okay, so I had only been working there maybe a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
And I was out front and I was smoking a cigarette. And there's a man standing there and it was drizzling rain or something, and he was like, boy, this weather here. And I was like, yeah, if you wait 15 minutes it'll change. That's what they always tell us. And all of a sudden this fancy ass town car pulls up and he gets in it, and I was like, well, aren't you hot stuff? Da, 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 da. I had no idea who this man was.
Oh, God.
And he was like, right, no, we're over there joking. Well, then Kenny, my friend, he was like, do you know who that was? And I was like, no. And he was like, that was such and such, the CEO. And I was like, oh my God. I'm over here talking shit. Ooh, look at you, Mr. Fancy Pants. With
and turn out he is
fancy
pants.
Yeah. And come to find. And then whenever he would visit all the time, we'd be like, hey. I was like,
hi, sorry.
Hello. Kind of made an asshole of myself.
No, that's you being just
had no idea who he was,
But that's you being good natured.
Yeah,
that's not you
oh,
look who thinks he's so fucking important.
Right, but
that would have been a different.
Right. But he was just, the way he took it too was joking, and so once I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake, really?
Yeah.
And from that point on, whenever he would come, he would be like, oh, there's your, he was. It's like, oh my God.
I remember there was a new hire class that had started right towards the end of my time at Cal, our old job together. And I was the last one of us to leave. And I knew I had the new job at Newton's at this point. I was going through the interview process, but I knew I had it.
Yeah.
And honestly, my last few weeks there, I was just, my fuck it was on turbocharge. I was just like, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I really don't care. I'm sick of being here. I hate these fucking people. Not good. So one day I walk into the little, it's not a break room, but it was just a little coffee spot, a coffee room with a fridge and a sink, right? And there's room for maybe 3 people.
Oh yeah, that's where somebody liked to heat up their fish heads.
Yeah. Ugh, God. Yeah, we had a coworker that used to literally heat up fish heads and eat them. Office etiquette 101, don't fucking do that, but whatever. So I go in there and somebody had started to brew a pot of coffee because it was empty. And I was like, okay. So I went back around the corner, got my coffee cup, came back, and this girl had put her cup underneath the coffee brewer, right? So that instead of going into the pot, it was going into her cup alone directly. And there's like a line of people that are literally from this new hire class waiting for coffee, right? And I say to her, please don't do that, okay? First of all, you take the strongest part of the coffee with you, and then the rest of us have dirty water, basically.
Yeah.
Okay? And she's like, well, I'm in a rush. I'm like, we're all in a rush. And now we have to wait twice as long. At least you got your coffee.
Right.
I'm like, it's rude. And I'm trying to explain to her, like, please don't do that. It is rude. Period. And once again, new hire class, this is like their first few days. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I your new boss? Do you know?
Right.
Whatever. And she's like, ugh. And she takes her cup out and then puts the pot. And she's like, there. Are you happy now? And I was like, who am I? And she just kind of looked at me and was like, what do you mean? I said, you're new, right? She was like, yeah. I'm like, could I be your new supervisor?
Yeah.
And she just kind of was like, oh, shit. And I just walked out and I was just like, and the trainer came and found me. He's like, you scared the shit out of her. I'm like, good. You walk into an office, you don't know you don't know anybody, and you just start being an asshole. What if I am her new supervisor?
Right.
Like, you don't know.
But that happens all the damn time. All the time.
Just people with no fucking common sense.
Exactly. And you're just like, do you like, I like to live monitor my team, especially when they first come to my team. I always send a welcome email whenever I'm able to pull them off the phone. I do, but for the first day or so, I listen to them. And so I had this girl who I'm listening to her. And so I message her and I'm like, hey, make sure you say this, blah, 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 blah. And this is after I've already introduced myself and everything else. And she says, I hear her after the call. I don't know who the fuck this bitch thinks she is. First
the bitch that's listening to you.
I'm your fucking supervisor. That's who the fuck I am. So then she kept on, and then she would take another call. And then I was like, hey, remember, we have to do this, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, if this bitch don't leave me the fuck alone, you'll what?
Quit?
Yeah, fuck off. I don't care.
Great, I'll just fire you.
Right, So I was like, okay. So meanwhile, I'm like,
has she not gotten the clue that you can hear her?
Right. So when she got off one of her calls, and I was like, hey, go into coaching for me, please. Yeah. And she goes into coaching, so I call her, and I'm just like, hey, so I know we really haven't had a chance to talk, in person yet. But my name is Tanya, and I'm your supervisor. You see the emails because I send them with a red receipt, so I know you read it. But I'm your supervisor. So one thing I do want to talk to you about first and foremost is please watch your language in between calls.
Because we can hear you. Because
all of that is recorded. We can hear you, and we will fire you for that. And she was just like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I can hear all of that. She was like, I didn't think you can hear me unless I was on a call.
Oh, well.
No. When you're sitting in after call, when you're waiting for a call, all that stuff, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I can hear you, madam.
Yeah. So in other words, maybe think about the last 30 minutes of you taking calls.
Right, yeah.
Could you have said something that might have been inappropriate?
Right, yeah. And so she was just like, well, you just can't be bossing people.
I'm your boss.
Fuck's sake. Actually,
I can. That kind of comes with title of boss.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not bossing you around. I'm leading you in the right direction so that you're good. Okay. I won't boss you around anymore. I mean, fuck off.
You just never know. Like and I know we've told this story before, but goddamn, it was wild the day that we knew we had visitors at the site. We had some sort of big wig visitors, and we all had to be dressed up. Like, for the most part, we just wore jeans and t-shirts, but we did have days where they said we were going to have like big wig visitors.
So we could not wear jeans. It was business casual.
And on one of those days, We stepped out to go smoke, and we stepped off to the side of the building because there were a ton of people in the smoking area and we wanted to talk in private. So we stepped over to the side of the building, you and me. And this car pulls up, and it's a couple of reps that were on the Cal project, which I wasn't on the Cal project at that time.
Yeah.
Right? So we knew these were reps, but they didn't really know who we were at all. And they pulled up right next to us, and one jumped out and was like, hey, do you have a lighter? And I remember you were like, sure. And you handed it to him. And you jokingly said, because it was taking forever for them to light their cigarette, right? It was taking forever. And then you jokingly said, what are you trying to light a blunt? What's going on? And then we both look, and sure as fuck, they're lighting a joint or blunt. And we were like, do you know who we are?
Right.
Not like a, do you know who I am? But like a, could we be these big wig visitors that you just asked for a lighter to light your joint in front of them?
Right. Come on.
And I remember they finally handed the cigarette back, and you and I were both standing there. They drove off, and I remember we were just dead silent. We just
sat there looking like, what the fuck just happened?
For a good, 30 seconds, just staring at each other like, did that just...
For real?
Don't
know what to say. So we went in and told our boss, and we were just like, what? Do we say something?
We genuinely did not know.
What do we do? Like, I was like, I was only joking, but I didn't mean... They actually... Did light a blunt, and... then drove off. Yeah, I said, and they're agents, and we can point them out too. So she had us go to HR and let them know, but
nothing happened. They got a slap on the wrist.
Yeah,
we just happened to be walking down the hallway when they finally pulled them to have a conversation about it. Like a month later.
Yeah.
That place just did not give a shit.
I mean, it's the same thing where.
But could you imagine had that actually been one of those big wigs,
right? That
they asked for a lighter, like.
I could only imagine, like...
I can't even imagine the shit show that would have rained down upon all of us.
Yeah.
Like, considering how much the site director, Cuntamort, hated smokers.
Oh, my God.
Oh, she would have just banned smokers.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Hey, you're going to ruin it for the rest of us. Knock it off.
Right, because we don't do that.
Jesus
Christ. Fucking idiots.
I'll never forget that day. And I remember the HR lady just being like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because we were just like, so this is weird.
Because we didn't want to feel like, look, we're not narky people. Do what you want to do, okay? If you want to smoke weed, smoke weed. We don't give a flying fuck. But at the same time, you are at work.
Right.
Like, and you are putting all of the people who work in this building's jobs at risk.
Right.
Doing that shit.
I mean, I don't give a shit. Go do what you want to do. I prefer weed over alcohol anyways.
Of course.
But especially when you know that we've got these people there, and I'm not one to be like, oh, I'm not a Karen or anything like that. I don't give a shit. But like Laura said, that's our jobs. That's our job. I mean, if that would have been a client, especially a couple of those clients, like the outdoor company that
super hoity-toity outdoor company.
Yeah, or that other, like the kitchen, the home place.
Oh, could you imagine if it
was
like super high-end bank?
Yeah, $27 for a bottle of ketchup place.
Yeah.
I mean, they would have lost their ever-loving shit.
Oh, God,
and those were huge clients and big contracts for our company. So what if it would have been one of them out there? I mean, you don't know.
It could have quite literally lost all of our jobs.
Because we did have partners that were housed in there because they would come and sit for days.
Mm-hmm.
For days.
Mm-hmm.
So you never knew who was in the building.
No, you really didn't. But the fact that everybody knew we had these visitors and these motherfuckers just... And I'll never forget, they were like, no, they weren't smoking weed. And we were like... We're not morons.
Right. I'm not fucking stupid. I know
what a cigarette looks like, and I know what a blunt looks like.
Right. I'm not... Come on now.
People are so fucking stupid. Okay. This is from Oregon.
Oh, I want to go there.
It's pretty. It's really pretty. I like it up there. And the emailer says, I work in a thrift store, and I take a phone call. And the caller says, do you have any pet beds? And I say, unfortunately, we're actually out ma'am, but we do get them in quite frequently. And the caller says, do you know any other places that might carry them? And I said, well, there's this store, and this store in town that you could try calling, and maybe they have some. And the caller says, oh, good. Text me their numbers. I'm not information. Like, I work in a thrift store. I can't. No.
Right. I'm not.
You didn't dial 411. You dialed the ARC. What are you talking? You dialed Goodwill. What?
Right. I'm not a fucking AT&T operator.
Thank you. And I said, pardon? And the caller says, text me their phone number. Text them to me. I say, I can't do that, ma'am. I suggest you Google them on your phone. And the caller says, listen to me, young lady. I have limited mobility, so I need you to text me the number so I can call without having to dial. I say,
no.
Sorry, ma'am. No can do. The caller says, why not? I said, well, number one, this is a landline.
Right. It's not how this works, stupid.
And she says, excuse me, it's a what? And I say more clearly, it's a landline. It is not capable of sending texts. She angrily responds, so what am I supposed to do? I have limited mobility. It's extremely difficult for me to Google things and dial them by hand.
Limited mobility. Your fingers worked good enough to call me. Yeah, so.
I said, I'm sorry to hear that, ma'am, but there's literally no way I can text the number to you. Even if I were to Google the number on our computer, you still have to write them down or type them into your phone. The caller says, fine, then text me the information from your personal cell phone.
No.
What do you think? Like, this is the thing that blows my mind about people like this. Do you think that people who are in customer service have no agency? Like, they have no, like, control of them? Like, we're just here to service you in any manner. Like, there's no boundaries at all.
None. It's just, you know what it is, I think.
Entitlement.
Well, yeah, and it's this whole, and I notice this a lot, like, whenever I listen to calls or whatever for work. It's that whole, the customer's always right mentality.
No, they're not.
And they're not. They're not. So we have a client that they used to offer baked potatoes. Mm-hmm. And then they stopped offering baked potatoes before 4 p.m.
Okay.
Now they do not offer them at all.
Okay.
So we have guests that call, well, can I get that with a baked potato? We don't have baked potatoes. Instead, we have this. And the guest always gets pissed off. Well, what are you doing? Can't you just take one of the potatoes you make the mashed potatoes with and make? No, because that's not, no. We don't offer it anymore. It's not on the menu. Well, let me talk to your manager.
Fine.
Okay. You know, I mean, what the fuck? If it's not there, then it's just not fucking there.
I really don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, there's nothing I can tell you other than you're fucking stupid. Like, you hear that all the fucking time. People are such assholes. So, you know, a lot of places do, like the car side to go, right? And whenever you make an order online or if you call and you talk to somebody, they always ask you for the make, model, and color of your vehicle so that they can bring the food out to you. Or you have to put it in online to submit the order. So I'm listening to an agent, and he asked for the guest's name. Mm-hmm. Guest is just like, mad because he's got to give his name. Okay, well, we'll just give your order to any fucking buddy then. How about that,
why not?
Stupid? Then he says, okay, and can I get the make, model, and color of the car that's going to be picking this up? What are you, the fucking police? Why do you need that? I'll be there. You'll know I'm there when I fucking get there. What?
Fuck you.
Okay.
Why?
Right. I mean, just stupid shit like that.
Stop being, and you know what? This is, we'll wait until the next episode to talk about this, but one of our listeners sent us an email about this trend that seems to be happening, especially in the restaurant industry, where people are coming out of quarantine just losing their goddamn minds on restaurant workers.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. Where this one restaurant had to shut their restaurant down because people were so fucking mean to them.
That's what the email was. One of our listeners sent that.
And I saw that the other day, and it made me think. I was just like, wow, and I always tell my folks, I know this is a hard job. I know it's monotonous. It's not, you don't have to be like a rocket scientist or anything. It's a fairly easy job, but it's taxing on your nerves. It really is. I understand that. And, and I always let them know, because I sometimes whenever we get super busy on certain days, the supervisors have to jump on and we have to take phone calls as well.
Absolutely.
And we get, they are...
You're getting abused just as much as they are.
They are so fucking mean to these people. Well, you're going to do it. No, I'm not. I can't.
Fuck off.
There's one lady called asking for something that was obviously on a competitor's menu and swore up and down that this chain has it. And they were like, no, it might be. Are you sure you wanted to call this? It might have been this other one.
Right.
And they were like, no, I know what the fuck I called and I know what you have because I come there all the fucking time. Okay, well, I apologize, but it's not on the menu. Well, I was just there and then I
work here.
Right. So, no, it's not. That's actually something that the competitor offers. We do not have that. And I want to talk to your manager. And she even said,
all right, Karen.
She even said, ma'am, are you sure you called?
# not all Karens.
Right? Are you sure that you wanted to call us and not them?
Right.
And no, I know what the hell I'm doing. I just don't.
I remember I called for I was trying to call Tji Fridays to do a takeout order. And I wanted to get, Tji Fridays had this thing, it was like chicken and shrimp it was really, really good. And I wasn't really paying attention to what I was dialing in my phone. I had all these restaurants saved with the letter Z in front of them. So if ever I was like, oh, I don't know what I want to eat, I could scroll through my list of my favorite restaurants all in my contacts, and they were all in one spot. I didn't have to scroll through all my contacts. So all my contacts, now this is TGI Fridays, but I accidentally dialed Denny's, right? And I was like, I want the chicken and shrimp. And they were like, and I wasn't paying attention. I didn't notice that. They answered. Yeah. Like, I just was like, hey, I want to pick up an order, place a to-go order. And they were like, and the guy was like, we don't have shrimp, ma'am. And I was like, huh? I was literally there like last week and you guys had this. Like, what are you talking about? And I wasn't mean. I didn't have to be mean.
Right.
Right. And I was just like, really? I was there last week and you had it. And he goes, this is Denny's, ma'am. Like, we don't have shrimp at Denny's. And I was like, oh, God, I just completely dialed the wrong. I'm so sorry. And I didn't yell at him and argue with him. I argued with him a little bit because I just didn't understand. Right. But I wasn't a bitch. I mean, it's just not necessary.
So I heard a call the other day where the guy was like, they answer the phone, thank you for calling, blah, 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 and he's like, I've been sitting out here for 20 minutes and no waitress has come out to give me a menu. Huh?
In your car?
In your car? In the car side to go parking spot?
That's not what car side to go means,
And he was like, they basically asked him that, and he was like, yeah, and they were like, the agent was like, okay, well, that's not how it works, and explained to them the way that it works, and said, I'd be happy to take your order. And he was like, well, how do I know what I want to eat if you won't bring me a menu? Just bring me a menu. And he was like, well, this part killed me. Mind you, he's in his car and he's calling from what I'm assuming is his cell phone because there's not a way to put a landline in your car, I don't think.
Right. Not the last time I checked.
Right. The agent says to him, well, you can go online and look at the menu and then give us a call back if you'd like. I'm in my car. I don't have a computer in my car.
You have a phone, which most people's phones are computers now.
So he was like, so you need to bring me a menu. He was like, sir, I'm in a centralized location. I don't have a way to bring you a menu. He was like, but I can see if somebody can bring you one out. Well, why can't they just come out here and take my order? Sir, again, they don't do it that way. But here's what you can do. Well, okay, Fonzie, you're waiting for a fucking car hop to bring you your fucking malted. It's not a drive-through. It's you pull up and they bring your food out to you that you have previously ordered, that you ordered earlier. Like, that's
just trying to explain certain concepts.
Oh, he was so mad at the agent. He was like, well, you're a fucking asshole. Da, 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 da.
Right back at you, bro.
Okay, well, I apologize, sir. If you don't mind, I want to put you on hold for a second so I can get you somebody that can help you. Because when I was live monitoring, and this guy's continuing to argue with my agent. So I said, you know what? Apologize, transfer him to the store. Get him off your fucking phone.
Get him off the phone.
Get him off your phone. You're not going to sit
stupid.
here and argue with a stupid person all fucking day.
No, that's, oh my God, that's
Yeah.
painfully dumb. All right, so back to the story. She tells me she says, just text me from your personal cell phone. I say, no. And the caller says, why not? I said, because my cell phone is in my locker and I'm not comfortable giving out my personal number to a complete stranger. And the caller says, this is terrible customer service. Once again, the customer is always right is not accurate, okay?
No.
And us having boundaries that we are not willing to cross, we are not willing to service you in any way that you demand is not bad customer service, okay?
Right. And especially in this day and age, a lot of places are limited in what they can do anyways.
Absolutely. So I said, I'm tired of her nonsense, so I take on a stern school teacher tone. I said, be that as it may, you have two choices. Either you look it up yourself or I read it to you and you write it down. There are no other options. Good.
Yeah.
Put your fucking foot down.
She did a lot more than I would have.
Thank you. I'd have hung up on your ass. Thank you
Okay,
very
see you
much.
later. Go to PetSmart. Bye now.
Bye.
I mean, I'm not going to fucking... I'm not your butler.
In the end, with a great deal of complaining, she eventually wrote the numbers down by hand after I did a quick Google search for her, which once again, you went above and beyond.
Oh, way above and beyond, because my raggedy ass would have been like, yeah, no, bye now.
Deuces, bitch.
Right, I'd have just hung up because I fuck off. It's not my job.
While I'm not in a position to judge whether or not her mobility was really that limited, I'm at a loss as to how this would make our phone magically capable of texting just to accommodate her. No, that's...
No, like I said, you did more than I would have because I would have told her what we know we don't have any. Thanks so much for calling. Bye-bye. Because I'm bye-bye. Because I'm here to work for the store, not you personally. This isn't fucking Bergdorf's or Macy's. I'm not your personal shopper. I'm not your assistant. I'm not your fucking butler or your maid.
No.
You can figure it the fuck out. If you're that limited, perhaps you should get yourself a nurse.
Right.
Good.
Let me tell you this quick story and then we'll move on to the next episode here. But this happened this week and I felt so bad, but at the same time, it worked out well. It has like a happy end of the story. So George and I have been doing all this stuff to the house. We've been doing all kinds of little projects and stuff. Well, one of the things we decided to do was get the ducts cleaned, right? So we got like a little flyer in the mail with a coupon. Called up, got the quote. Quote was fine. And they came out yesterday. And it was this sweet little gentleman who came in and we were both working. Right? Now, is where I need to pause and explain my house. I love my house. Don't get me wrong. I worked very hard to make this house a home and to look the way I want it to look and to do the things I want it to do. However, one of the weird things in older homes, this home was built in 1983. In older homes, it's gone through quite a few owners and owners do weird things that you don't discover until after you've purchased it. Right? One of the weird things that the previous owner did to this house, and we knew he did it, was he was a custom lighting designer. So when we first toured this house, there were all kinds of weird ass light fixtures that he had like built and created and had rewired this house in a certain way to make these weird light fixtures work. Right? He rewired like... There was a light fixture coming out, the big vaulted wall where my stairs are, right? There was a giant light fixture that took up a good third of that wall, right? That he had, there's no outlets or anything there. The wires in that wall in particular are all kinds of fucked, right? Oh. Just from him trying to make these custom lighting fixtures work. So we have learned over the years that the way the house is wired, it can easily trip the breakers, right? And there's one particular breaker that gets tripped that controls I would say about a third of the outlets in this house.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're running too many things on that particular set of outlets, it trips the breaker. No big deal. Well, this gentleman comes to clean the vents and he plugged something in, and we had the air conditioner running. And it was the air conditioners on that set of plugs. And he blew the breaker. Well, it took down the power in the whole house.
Oh, God.
For just like it flickered off and then it came back on. Well, both of us are working. So I come out and I'm like, what happened? And he's like, and this poor little dude is like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. But the power came back on, but half of the plugs still aren't working. And he's trying to figure out what he did. And we were like, oh no. It's not you. It's this house. It's just weird. And he was so apologetic, and we were just like, it's fine, no big deal. We both text our bosses and we're like, hey, our internet went out for a sec, we'll be back in a minute.
Yeah,
no big deal. Okay, fine. So he apologizes, but you could tell he was like, I'm so sorry. We're like, no, look. And then we told him, we'll just keep the air conditioner off while you're doing this, or this is just going to keep happening. So we just turned the AC off. No big deal. Well, then when he gets down here, he knocks on my office door and is like, hey, so I need to get into your vent now. I was like, that's totally fine. I moved all of this stuff that's on this. So for those of you who can't see this, the vent is in my ceiling because we're in the basement. And it's right above this dresser where I have all these painting supplies. I moved everything out of his way, right? And I messaged my boss, hey, stepping away for a few minutes. I was like, rock it out, have fun. And he was like, okay, well, I will make sure that whatever, mess I make, I'm going to vacuum in here. And I was like, even if you didn't vacuum, I really don't.
It's not a big deal.
It's my office. Like, I've got art supplies and all kinds of shit. Like, it's no big deal. It's totally fine, right? He's just the sweetest little dude. I come back into my office. Not only did he vacuum and clean everything up, he put everything back.
Oh.
I was like, oh, you didn't need to do that. Like, I would have put it back.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you. Like, he was so sweet. So George and I kind of talk about it. I'm like, this dude is so nice. I said, I really want to give him like a tip that's just his. And I had cash. So I gave George $20. I was like, before he leaves, give him a tip. And he was like, absolutely. He's doing a great job. So George gives him a tip. And then as he's leaving, he's like, we're telling him like, you did a great job. Thank you so much. And he was like, can I ask a favor? We were like, sure. He's like, could you maybe call and like tell my boss like I did a good job? Like, is that sure, absolutely, not a problem, because he did a good job, absolutely. And he was like, he's like, I'll be really honest with you guys. Like, I made some stupid mistakes as a kid with drugs, and I just got out of jail, and I really need this job. He was like, and I'm kind of on like a trial basis. And we were like, oh God.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, well, absolutely call and give you kudos. And he was just like, thank you so much. And you just felt so bad.
Yeah.
That he was scared that we were upset with him for tripping the breakers.
Yeah.
And we were like, no, we called his boss and we're like, he did a great job. Like, he was so nice and personable and did his best to stay out of our way and cleaned up after himself. Like, he did a great job.
Yeah.
So, and I won't say what company it is because that's his like private business. But I mean, it was just nice.
It's nice whenever you get to hear that. Like, I was live monitoring the other day, and one of my agents, she's super young. Like, I think she just graduated from high school, and she's going to college and everything. And she's doing this part-time. Mm-hmm. And she has the sweetest, like if you ordered from her, her whole tone is just very calm and relaxing.
Oh, nice.
But upbeat at the same time, and very engaged in everything.
Okay.
And even the guest, she took an order, and the lady said, wow, is there somebody that I can talk to? Because you are awesome. Like, and I just so happened to be live monitoring. So I messaged her real quick. I IM'd her because
I already heard it.
Usually I just shoot him a message through Teams, but I IM'd her in the thing where they take calls through, and I was like, tell her thank you. I was listening. I'm sending you kudos. And she was like, oh, ma'am, my boss was actually listening to me today. And yeah,
she heard that whole thing.
She heard that whole thing. Thank you so much. Because I was like, wow. Even the customer was like,
blown away.
Yeah, like you.
How often do you get a kudos call for somebody just taking your food order? Like, that's impressive.
Right. Yeah, we get them sometimes. Like, I have one guy. He sounds like he should be on the radio.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So whenever you get him, he's like, yeah, hi, thank you so much for calling, blah, blah, blah. My name is blah, 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 and I'll be taking your order today. And I mean, and he's fucking awesome. Like, yeah, you know, and
stuff like that.
Yeah, and everybody's just like, wow, you have a great voice. It's like, thanks. You know, and half these people, I've never even met them or seen them before. So in my head, you know, I picture what this guy looks like.
Yeah.
And I'm just laughing, and I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, but yeah,
I love stuff like that.
It's so nice whenever I'm listening to my agents and somebody's like, oh my God, you're doing an excellent job. You know, you're so awesome. My team knows though that I stalk them.
Right.
Like on Thursdays. On Thursdays before I leave, I always send some sort of, because I send stupid emails to them all the time. But I always send like a little email that has like a little person peeking around the corner. And it'll be like,
watching you.
Just because I'm not here doesn't mean I won't find out. Here's what we need to do the next 2 days while I'm off.
Yeah.
Got it? And then, you know, and then I let them know what they need to do and everything. And then on Sunday mornings, I send them an email with their stats in it from the last few days. And it'll always say something like, you thought you were going to get rid of me. You know, just shit like that. And they know, like, it's a joke in the whole team. They're like, you know, Tanya just always.
Yeah, she's stalking us.
She fucking watches us. And my boss even laughs because we have to copy our bosses on our team emails. Mm-hmm. And she cracks up because I sent out this other one about how your HT affects, like, certain things on your scorecard and stuff.
Right.
And how many calls you take per hour, and if you let the ACW run out, it makes your HT higher and everything else. And throughout the whole thing, I would give them a little tidbit. See where I'm going here? Is this making sense? Bam! Mystery solved! And she was like, you're stupid.
Like something's wrong.
You're
with
really
you.
stupid. And then we had an issue with one of our clients where the agents were adding egg to stuff. And this particular client has no fucking eggs. Not for salads, not for burgers, not for anything. They don't have fucking eggs. So I sent an email out, and it was like, and we kept getting errors for it. And the client was getting real pissy. And my boss called me, and she was like, I mean, I don't know what to fucking do. Da-da-da. I was like, hold on, I got something for him. So I sent out this email. I was like, not on a Monday, not on a Tuesday, not on a Thursday, not any day do we have eggs. I don't care if they want it on a salad, they want it on a burger, they want it on their French fries. If
you send out a Dr. Seuss book.
Right, I did. We have no, and then every time at the end of each example, I would say, we have no eggs. If it's 2:00 in the afternoon, if it's 4:00 in the afternoon, if it's 11:30 in the morning, we have no eggs. And then I did like
Dr. Tanya Seuss.
I did like 4 fucking big ass paragraphs. And at the end, I wrote, P.S. in huge red bold letters, we have no eggs. And so I sent it out. I put it in a Teams message for everybody. And then I sent it in an email. For like 3 days straight, I kept getting emails from fucking smart ass people. Do we have eggs? Hey, just a quick question. What about those eggs?
What about those eggs?
Yeah, where do we stand on the eggs, Tanya? Yeah, but everybody still talks about
where do we stand on the eggs?
Right. Oh, sorry. Everybody still talks about this fucking email.
God.
And they know when they want something that is like we're really like stressed out about it, they have me send an email out. Because, you know, Carly used to make us send stupid shit out all the time, right? For our contests and but the quality bucks and all that other shit.
Right.
So I kind of draw from my inner Carly on that.
There you go.
And I make it, like most of the time when I'm sending these emails, I'm fucking pissed off because I always have to send these emails.
Right.
And it's always shit that we've had to say 400 times.
Right.
But now it's gotten to the point where we can all like we're all on Linda's team. There's like 5 of us on Linda's team. Mm-hmm. And we can all see, we post in each other's pages and stuff.
Yeah.
For our teams. And it's gotten to the point now where there's a couple of the supervisors that are like, I'm stealing this. Because... you know, they'll see it, or another supervisor will steal something I've sent out site-wide, and they're just like, holy shit. Like, even my boss...
We know how to communicate.
Right.
Like that.
Even my boss's boss, like, she was like, it is so funny because you break this shit down so that even the stupidest person in the world can figure this out.
Right.
Like, I was like, but that's my job.
Right.
That is my job.
Because we do deal with some of the stupidest people.
Right, you know? So, yeah, but they just laugh. They're just like, Tanya's fucking emails. Just stupid. Whenever I was doing because now I'm on a different restaurant, but before I got sick, when I was on the other one that was catering.
Right.
I used to send out the stupidest fucking emails, like "Hello, beautiful people," like because it was Mexican food, and I would be like, "In queso, you missed it," just stupid shit all the fucking time, and they would be like, "Tanya's fucking emails are stupid," like, and then whenever there was another one that serves pasta, and I would send out all these, I would look up pasta puns and send that shit. Puns? Yeah, I looked up pasta puns, and there was a shit ton of them. That's so funny. So and I would always send out
what were some of the pasta puns? I want to know what they are.
Hold on, I can tell you.
That's going to be the name of this episode, pasta puns.
Hold on, I'll tell you. I looked it up, and I would use it in emails, right? So there's your pasta the best. I walked right past a restaurant, pasta la vista. Pasta than a speeding bullet. Sorry, this gift is pasta due. The possibilities are endless. That was my favorite.
I think that's my favorite. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, this dish is so good it's preposterous. This too shall pasta. You're an imposter.
Stupid. I don't know why it's so funny.
You're positively amazing. Like, I would just send out stupid shit like that. I'm feeling a little saucy. You're tortellini awesome. Come and spaghetti. Like, I just would send out stupid.
I'm digging pasta puns.
Like, I would do that all the time. It's pretty penny out. Just like stupid shit. Like, I would just...
You gotta do that to engage with your people. Like,
yeah, and they would always be like, I fucking hate her. But my boss and their bosses would be like...
It's a way to get something through
to people. Yeah, and
like a lot of people there was one point when I was doing a lot of training at Newton's, and I was like, look, something that you guys need to understand about me is I train through storytelling. Why? Because people don't remember just bland, bare bones, data facts. If you tie a piece of information to an emotional response, like with a story, it sinks in better. Right. And even if it's not like a story, just some sort of little device to help you remember. I guarantee you they're going to remember those things because you put those stupid puns with them. Right. You generated an emotional response of laughter and happiness to help them remember those things.
Yeah. And I do it all the time. Like, I look up the stupidest shit for my team. Yeah. All the time. Like, and I know if IT ever looks at my computer, like, does this bitch just Google stupid shit all day? Because
Be like, Tanya's Google history is weird.
It's so fucking odd.
She's just a weird one.
Yeah. And I know that's what they're like if they looked at it, but the reason I do it is because I feel like you said, if I say something so stupid or do something so out of left field, it'll stick with them a little bit more than if I just send out an email like, hey guys, do this. Right. If I'm just like, bam, and then I build up to it and then I reiterate it and then, add a little fun stuff in there, then it's not so,
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So let's wrap up this episode and we'll record another one. So keep those stories coming. And when we get back from our little August vacation, we will read more of your stories. Send them to qasincucumber@yahoo.com. Make sure you're liking and subscribing and doing all that fun stuff. So until next time, I'm Lara Mack.
And I'm Tanya Edwards.
Love your faces.
Smooches.
Like what you hear? Rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or your favorite podcasting platform. And follow us on our Facebook page by searching Q as in Cucumber. Don't forget to check out our other show, hosted by me and Jessica James, called The Parent Memoirs. And we want to hear from you. Share your stories by emailing us at qasincucumber@yahoo.com, and you might just hear your stories on a future episode. Love your faces!
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.